The speech is so bad, in fact, that everyone starts to murmur, which then makes Charlie even more insecure, and he's like, stop gossiping, she didn't do anything, she didn't hurt anybody. Okay, stop. My name is Alyssa and I like to watch movies, especially when they have the drama. To say that the drama is my most anticipated movie of 2026 would probably be an understatement. I don't think there was a movie I was more excited to see starring my teenage crushes, both Zendaya and Arpats. So let me tell you, when I saw this movie on Thursday night, it lived up to my expectations. Oh, is it my movie of the year? Who needs Ryan Gosling in space with a rock alien who misses his wife when you have Arpats and Zendaya giving us interpersonal drama?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Written and directed by Kristoffer Borgli, who is best known for Sick of Myself and Dream Scenario. The drama follows a relationship that's put to a test after an unexpected revelation sends their wedding week off the rails. In some of the production notes for the drama, he wrote that polite society is an affluent and privileged existence where violence can creep in unexpected ways. Charlie and Emma have been conditioned not to speak frankly to anyone about their issue. They're simply trying to get through their wedding. Before the script could go into the traditional casting process, the script was making its round around Hollywood and ended up in the beautiful, beautiful hands of Zendaya. She read the script, loved it, approached Borgli and was like, hey, love your work, love Dream Scenario. I would love to be considered for this role. And you know who else loved Dream Scenario? Robert Pattinson. At the Dream Scenario premiere, Robert Pattinson approached Borgli and was like, hey, love your work. If you ever want to collaborate sometime in the future, just like, I don't know, text me, hit me up. I'm always free for you, baby girl. Eventually, Arpats and Zendaya would be casted as the titular roles in the drama, making it one of their 3 projects that's coming out in the year of 2026. We love a coincidence. We love when great actors come together to continue to make great art. They're like, oh, who's like a great collaboration that happened so many times? I would say like, oh, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan. I think. Is that a good one? With a $28 million budget, the film shot primarily in Cambridge, which was also made to kind of look like Boston, where Borgli wanted to make the film be set in. He was like, it's the most European thing that lives in America. Don't tell Boston that. On December 8th, A24 made a mock engagement announcement that ran in the TV Critics ad in the Boston Globe, so it could run right next to the love letters column. The announcement revealed characters, some plot details, and the release date. April 3rd, 2026. One Zendaya press tour later, the drama is here. So I went to my nearby Alamo Draft House, which is so much better than my local AMC. Yeah, like put that on my tombstone, it's true. And sat down to watch another A24 rom-com, hoping it wouldn't be another materialist situation. And guys, I loved it. But unfortunately, not everything that I want to watch in theaters is in theaters. And that's where NordVPN comes into play. Like Emma and Charlie, I'm also getting married, which means I am being very mindful of how much money I'm spending because a lot of it has to go to the wedding. Guys, weddings are expensive. But this means I can't watch everything I want to watch. Or can I? Thanks to NordVPN, i.e. the best VPN of 2026, I can commit to watching my favorite rom-com/wedding movies where I want, when I want, and how I want. Meaning I can be on 10 different devices like a laptop, phone, tablets, or a projector if you have one, which I do. And the best part about NordVPN, you ask, is that you could change your location. For example, you want to watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but it's not on your streamer? Girl, just change your location to virtually anywhere in the world, and you can watch Tula's mom tell you how she absorbed her twin in the womb.
Yes, inside the lump was my twin.
And what's great about signing up for NordVPN with my code that's linked in the description below, you get 76% off your NordVPN subscription. Literally, you will be spending $3.09 per month with this deal. Girls, what are you doing? Stay secured, stay protected. Stream what you want to stream where you want to stream. Again, you can get 76% off your NordVPN subscription by clicking my link in the description below. Now back to me. We open the movie with Charlie, i.e. Robert Pattinson, spotting Emma, i.e. Zendaya, at a local cafe. She's reading a book and he's like, I have to talk to her about something. So he Goodreads her book that she's reading, reads the entire plot synopsis, and is like, I'm gonna go tell her how much I love this book. He approaches her, he's like, I love the book, but she can't hear him. And she can't hear him because she is deaf in her right ear. Keep that in mind, it will be important later. When Emma finally notices him, she's like, LOL bro, I can't hear you. Like, we're gonna have to start over. And Charlie's like, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. And that's why he's gonna be including their first meet cute moment in his wedding speech. Adorable. We then get this like really cute montage of Charlie and Emma talking to their respective friends about what they want to include in their speech. And in this moment, we get to see a montage of their entire relationship, from the first date to the first kiss to like, what Charlie calls their really great sex life. We also get the moment where Charlie first tells Emma that he loves her in her bad ear, and guys, that moment actually did make me cry.
I love you so much, it hurts. I can't be without you. It's scary because I'm gonna I want to marry you, but I'm too afraid to even ask.
I think I caught that.
You did?
A hairy knife?
These fools are in love. They're in love, and they don't care who knows it. And it's a good thing because the wedding is literally 1 week away. Keep that in mind. As Emma and Charlie are walking home from their dance rehearsals, because a lot of people like to have a rehearsed dance for their wedding receptions, which like, I don't know. It feels very hetero, but at the same time, I'm like, why? Why do we have to do that? Like, I don't want to learn how to do a dance for somebody, like for a crowd of people. It's performative. But then again, aren't weddings performative? I'm not doing that for my wedding, just letting you know. But as they're walking back, they spot their wedding DJ smoking heroin on the stoop. But Emma and Charlie are feeling weird about it. They're like, should we still have her as our wedding DJ? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And they bring this up over some glasses of orange wine with their couple friends, Rachel and Mike, played by Alana Haim and Mamadou Athey, respectively. And Rachel defends the heroin smoking DJ by going, you know what? Haven't we all done bad things? This then kicks off the game of what is the worst thing you've ever done? Let's start with you, Mike. Mike's worst thing that he ever did was that he used his then girlfriend as a human shield to fend off a vicious dog. And you know what? I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. I thought he was gonna be like, I killed a dog. And sometimes that's what you get when men write rom-coms. Like, men are depraved creatures. Like, they're just like, oh my god, let's do something shocking, like he murdered a dog. Brother, why? Rachel then goes, okay, so it's my turn. I locked a mentally disabled child in a closet in an RV and then abandoned him, left him in there overnight, and then there was a search party and nobody asked me any questions, so I never said anything. And we love that she never took ownership for her actions, and she doesn't know what happened to that kid because she's like, as soon as he was out of my sight, he was out of mind. Charlie reveals that the worst thing he ever did was cyberbully, and he thinks it made the kid move away, but then again, it could have been just a coincidence. And you know what, to be fair, I want to know how badly he cyberbullied this child, because I went to a middle school where we had a lot of assemblies about like, hey, don't cyberbully, because people kill themselves because of that. I need to know how bad Charlie is. Like, how bad was the cyberbullying? And I need to know if Emma is safe. And then Emma reveals her big thing, which is, spoiler alert, she was planning a school shooting. In fact, while practicing with her dad's rifle, she ruptured her eardrum, and that's why she cannot hear in that ear. Yeah. No other words. Nothing else I want to say about that.
But I didn't do anything. I didn't like actually do anything. I know it's like insane to have the fucking like idea, but I didn't.
Rachel is immediately pissed at Central about this revelation. She's like, my cousin Samantha was paralyzed because of the shooter. Like, that's really fucked up, Emma. Like, how dare Emma do something that adjacently affects Rachel's life? Everyone's uncomfortable, especially Rachel and Charlie, and all this causes Emma to anxiety puke. And this revelation, more so through the reactions of his friends, is what starts to cause Charlie to have some second thoughts about his wedding that's happening in 6 days. The next morning, Emma is trying to explain herself to Charlie when she, once again, anxiety vomits. Somebody get this girl some Benadryl, please. She desperately needs it. Charlie then asks Emma how far she went with her plan, and she's like, well, I brought the rifle to school, but I didn't go through with it. And I didn't go through with it because that same day, there was another mass shooting at my town's mall. But this also made her realize when she was 15 and trying to plan all this that, maybe this wasn't what she wanted exactly. And this is when I started to go like, okay, so what was the intent? And when you get a little bit more of her backstory, you realize that she was a military brat living in Louisiana. She was a girl who's of a mixed identity. She's black and white. She's biracial. And she was like living in complete isolation and being bullied by the other white girls of her school. So she was having like a mental health crisis essentially, and was like wanting someone to give her attention. That's all again, attention culture. It's about having attention, but she was going about it in the most destructive way possible. After the incident, she started to get attention from other people who noticed how like big her emotions were due to the news of the other mass shooting. And they invited her to become a gun activist where she found community and acceptance and the attention that she wanted. Literally all Emma wanted was to belong, which is like so sad. Like that just like, it breaks my heart a little bit. But Charlie can't wrap his head around this. And he's just like, oh, I don't know what to do with this information. And it's starting to really impact how they're seeing each other. And they just like can't do the wedding things anymore without like not wanting to touch each other because they're like, oh, this isn't the person that I thought they were, you know? Which is not ideal when the wedding is literally happening at the end of the week. And I do feel bad for Emma because her maid of honor, i.e. Rachel, is not responding to any of her calls. While yes, that is wedding stress to the max, it's also not great because she actually is in business with Rachel. Turns out she hired Rachel and her marketing team to help her work with like some campaign that they're launching. And like Rachel isn't responding to anybody associated with Emma. And because this is directly impacting Emma's work, she asked Charlie to try to talk to Rachel and Mike. He tries to make the situation better by going, oh my gosh, my soon-to-be wife Emma was traumatized by watching her neighbor die, which is a lie, by the way. And that's the reason she's emotionally unstable. And Rachel's like, okay, and a lot of people witness trauma and they don't want to do mass shooting. So like, why is Emma special? Like Mike grew up around guns and he's terrified of them. To which Mike is like, that's not true, Rachel. Rachel is shocked by this. She's like, oh, okay. Well, now this affects how I see you. And this movie opens up a really interesting conversation about polite society and like the racial politics of it. And while I am not the best person to really talk about this specific intersection, Jordan Searles at the film stage writes that in one revealing scene, Rachel scrambles to differentiate her black husband, who is mild-mannered in comparison to Emma, by suggesting that he's not only incapable of violence, but from his upbringing, actively scared of it. Charlie thought Emma was harmless, but now he's afraid of her and can't shake the feeling that the woman he loves is a mad black woman. And despite all the evidence to the contrary, it is that fear that drives the film. Racism, not Emma, is the real villain of the drama. And this is like a really interesting perspective to bring up because I feel bad for Emma because she rarely gets a voice in how she's being portrayed. Kind of like Mike. Mike barely gets the opportunity to be like, actually, that's not who I am, Rachel. That's not true, Rachel. And this is when I started to realize, oh, this movie is entirely from Charlie's POV. Yeah, we do spend some time with Emma, but you never get to see how she is like, her vision of Charlie is influenced by how he's reacting to this entire revelation. But anytime we're with Charlie and he thinks of guns, he thinks about Emma. And anytime he thinks about Emma, he thinks about guns. It's almost like violence has become the defining characteristic of Emma, despite that not at all being who she was in the entire time they were in a relationship together. To which then I ask, sir, why haven't you asked her how she has felt about this entire situation? Why haven't you been like, hey, why did you feel like that this was the right move to make? Like, why did you feel like you wanted to do this situation? And then afterwards, what changed? What changed? How did you grow? It's almost like he doesn't care about her mental health and is more obsessed with his idea of a wife. And in fact, he's so upset that his like idealized woman is actually a complex human being that he deletes his entire wedding speech. He also can't get hard enough to have sex with Emma. And so Emma is like, okay, let's take a beat. Let's start over. Hi, my name is Emma. Nice to meet you. Do you live around here? And turns out Charlie can't have fun and he can't get over this. And he's like, you know what? I need a minute. Charlie wants to make sure he's doing the right thing. So he asks his coworker, Misha, played by Haley Gates, what would she do if her boyfriend Blake planned to do a mass when he was 15 years old? First off, crazy conversation to have with your coworker over lunch. Second off, Misha says that she would call the cops, to which I'm like, okay, and what can they do? Like, it's been 15 years. Like, can you still go to jail for intent after that long of like a time period has passed? Lawyers, let me know in the comments. Believe it or not, this is not what Charlie wanted to hear, and he has a full-on mental breakdown. Misha tries to comfort him, to which then Charlie misreads the situation and starts kissing Misha. Jail. And it gets worse because they start taking their clothes off to have sex, and then Charlie's like, whoa, this is crazy, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this. And Misha's like, okay. Now truly, Charlie has the worst thing that he's ever done in his entire life, which is cheat on his soon-to-be wife. So it's the wedding day, and they got married. Congratulations to the newly happy couple. Nothing will go wrong. Emma's dad starts off a string of speeches by going like, hey, you are so thoughtful, you are so beautiful, you've always been so creative and ambitious, even when you became a like rabid gun activist, which then causes Rachel to laugh. Babe, time and place. It's not like she's doing it at your birthday dinner. Then Rachel, who is drunk as a skunk, decides that it is time for her to give her speech. Her entire speech is just passive aggressive. It's awkward, it makes everyone deeply uncomfortable, and Emma is like, okay, I need a bathroom break. I need a bathroom break so I can recalibrate and come back out and act like everything's fine. Yeah? Cool. But while she's in the bathroom, she overhears Misha say something about a school not what you want to hear. Also, I'm shocked that Misha even went to this wedding, coming from the fact that 2 days ago, she helped Charlie cheat. She was a cheater. She also cheated on her partner too. R.I.P. Like, he's not dead, but like still, that relationship is dead in the water, let's be honest. Emma is stressed city central, so she goes and finds Charlie and she goes, hey, we have to go get Misha and talk to her about who told her about this, you know, the situation. And Charlie's like, oh, what if we didn't talk to Misha, like, at all? Like, what if we just ignored her forever? And Emma's like, no, I'm gonna go get Misha. Imagine Emma's shock when Misha reveals that Charlie kissed her first. Oh, I think now is the perfect time for another speech. Charlie, would you like to say a few words? Remember how he deleted his original speech? Well, yeah, he has to free ball it now, ball his life. The speech is so bad, in fact, that everyone starts to murmur, which then makes Charlie even more insecure, and he's like, stop gossiping, she didn't do anything, she didn't hurt anybody. Okay, stop. Stop right there. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But don't worry, he does reveal in front of the entire wedding party that he did cheat on Emma with Misha, but it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything, guys. That's the funny bit. It doesn't mean anything. Blake, who is, fun fact, played by a friend of my fiance, Michael Abbott Jr., rightfully punches Charlie in the face for this revelation. He's like, okay, I'm gonna make you shut the fuck up. Cut to Charlie coming back to the apartment solo, bloodied, and also just not having a good time, guys. He is absolutely in the gutter because his insecurity ruined his relationship. And the best way to punctuate this moment is by having Charlie vomit everywhere. Miserable by the fact that he ruined his relationship with Emma and also ruined their very expensive wedding, Charlie decides that he's gonna go to their favorite diner and sadly drink a Diet Coke. But look at who's arriving now. It's Emma. She sits across from Charlie and goes, hi, my name's Emma. Do you live around here? She's basically reintroducing herself and they're starting the relationship over. Clean slate, no one's at fault. They might see each other a little differently, but they're stronger for it. The drama. Folks, I like the drama. I know it's a bit of a chaos movie, but I like chaos. Like Borgoli's other films, the drama is choppy, it's uncomfortably intimate, and it is messy in a very purposeful way. And I don't think that's a bug, I think that is a feature of his filmmaking. There is also something going on here that I think is only able to be decoded by that controversial 2012 essay that Borgoli wrote that is like currently in the controversy cycle. When he was 27, Borgoli wrote an essay that basically reflected on a May-December relationship that he had with someone who was 17 years old. While the age of consent in his home country of Norway is 16, adult teen relationships are still heavily frowned upon, as it should be. In the essay, he specifically states that this girl who is a girl, by the way, because she's under 18, is what helped him recalibrate his moral compass. And this entire feeling is what is essentially the anchor in the drama. But all this brings me back to Emma. Both Emma and the girl mentioned in Borgoli's essay from 2012 are modern day equivalents of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. For those who might not remember, Manic Pixie Dream Girls are essentially characters of women in cinema who are basically designed to help bring men out of like a slump, like an emotional slump. She blows in, she shakes things up, she's like, LOL, let's have some fun, let's be a little quirky. And she teaches him how to feel again, the story moves on. We love when men have emotional, like, intelligence, I guess. All this to say that Emma is essentially a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. We never get moments where she wrestles with the why of her own actions. She doesn't get any agency in how she's being portrayed by the white people in her life. We don't get to see how she is changed by anything that happens to her relationship with Charlie. We don't even see how Charlie's actions impact her. Essentially, her coming to Charlie at the end and she's like, let's just start over. Let's do a fresh one, is what helps Charlie emotionally grow, but like, how is that serving her? The answer is it's not. She's literally there to like recalibrate Charlie's moral compass and like point him due north. She reveals that these social structures that he's been living in, i.e. the polite society, might not serve him in his day-to-day life, especially when he wants to be in this relationship with Emma. Essentially, the essay and the film are running the same play. And here's the thing, when these men are at fault, which they are, the women in their lives forgive them, and the men are sent off better than they were than at the beginning of the story. It's very Manic Pixie Dream Girl energy. It's very convenient for the men who want to be like, well, I needed that relationship for this purpose. It's basically going, I'm gonna justify this relationship where I was very shitty to a person who was, one, either going through a mental health crisis, or two, a literal teenager. But this is kind of what makes the drama interesting to talk about. The film lets you watch the male gaze conduct itself in real time, where women are still not being written as full complex human beings in a genre that is designed for them specifically. It's trying to tell us that like, yeah, men can't handle complexity, but you know what? It's your job as a woman to help them. Now, do I feel conflicted recommending this movie to anybody who does have an issue with Borgoli's past, can't separate the art from the artist, or doesn't want to watch a movie that's like deeply Woody Allen coded? Why, yes! But I also think that conflict should exist in art. I do think it should exist. I think you should hold people like Borgli accountable for their actions because, oh my god, what he did was fucked up. I also don't think we should keep saying that women are responsible for men's emotions, but I think we should have conversations about these subjects. I think we should be able to be like, hey, this is a heavily gendered movie where women are once again made to be a bit of a villain. I'm really tired of rom-coms, especially from A24, that make women feel bad about themselves. Like, damn. Like, I think about The Materialist, and I was like, trying to put something together where it's like, there's a lot of rom-coms recently where they're like, hey ladies, you want a happy ending? You have to quit your job. Yeah. Who needs financial freedom when you have a romance? It's like all these movies are like, women, you should, one, not be the head of your household, two, conform to the ideologies that your man wants to have, and three, you should fix all of his emotional problems. What the fuck? All to say, if you don't feel comfortable giving money to this man but you still want to watch this movie, I highly recommend streaming it. You can even use NordVPN to help you stream it later. Link in the description, babe. But I do want to say that I like the drama a lot. I really do. I do think it's my favorite film of the year, which is like a loaded statement to say for many of reasons. I do like that it makes me feel so many conflicting emotions. I also liked Zendaya and Arpat's like performances in this movie. This is probably Zendaya's best performance of her career in my opinion. I also like that Arpat is using his charm as a costume for his character's like deep insecurities. I also want to shout out the DP and the editor. They're really doing God's work in this movie. Not only are they adding like some richness to the visual storytelling of this movie, but they are giving it emotional grammar. They're giving it like emotional vocabulary to talk about whatever's happening between the characters, like chef's kiss. But with all this said, I'm gonna give the drama a B+. It's a little shaggy in places. It doesn't fully interrogate Charlie's like discomfort with everything. And listen, any film that evokes the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope immediately gets bumped a grade. Like, oh, not in 2026, babe. Those are the rules, I don't make them. But those are my thoughts on the drama. I'm very curious what you thought of the movie. Let me know what you thought about the revelation. Let me know who you think the real villain of the story is. Mine is Charlie. But if you want to stay connected with me off YouTube, you can follow me over on TikTok, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Also, I have a Substack where I'm posting more essays over there, so definitely go check those out. All those links are in the description below. Also, let me know what movies you want me to talk about in the future. I'm currently working on a big project that's coming out next week. If you want a hint, go check out my Letterboxd and you'll see the franchise that I'm watching. But until next time, go and support your local movie theaters, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!